So
Speaking of
old for your
rifles,
age.
He's just been so bad with the rifles too at this point already, right?
well, my problem is I'm like, hey, can I shoot that rifle? They're like, that is an RPG. What are you doing?
You might have taken out the
I'm
computer
like,
console last game if you'd had the rifle. If you had the RPG. Sorry. But so we're back, guys. Thank you for waiting. Sorry for the delay. While we're talking about it, actually, if you like our stuff, help us out by subscribing. If you have Twitch Prime, if you have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free. But the best way you can help us out is just clicking follow and watching our content and coming back every week. We appreciate having you here. So we're going to jump right back into it. So the PCs are just kind of hanging out, chilling out on the ship, finding the doldrum of just hanging out on the ship. They're going to have to get used to it because this is a space game. So this is actually a good time to talk about the interlude rules. Because I was actually going to give you guys the opportunity to role play out an interlude later if you wanted to. If anyone would take the opportunity to do that, one of you guys wants to look that up, I would hand out bennies for that. Yeah, if someone wanted to do that. So let me actually link that in chat. Something to do in the doldrum of traveling while in the ship. Thought it'd be fun at least. Let me see if I can find an interlude actually. Interludes. Ah, yes, here we go.
interludes.
There you go. Great things to run during the doldrum of traveling in space. But that's a great way for you guys to gain bennies. Anyways, so Director Barris arrives with a small group of soldiers with him. With, what do we call them? Space Humvees. And so it's only like one. We'll say it's with one Space Humvee with a small security team with him. And they arrive outside the ship. So Jeremy, is Levi sat in the first chair yet? Is he the captain yet, officially? Like, has he gotten used to the first chair?
No, not quite yet.
Nope. Okay.
He's making the mental transition, but he's trying to do all of those duties. He's just not comfortable with it yet.
10-4. 10-4. All right. So where do we find you guys when Director Barris drives up? Anyone outside? Where is everybody on the ship when he arrives?
Does he call first?
Sure,
Yeah, that.
Sure, we'll say he calls first, if it helps.
So if he calls first, then I'd be outside waiting for him.
All right, cool.
Yeah, ditto.
All right. Levi and Aston are both outside waiting for him. What about Arthur and Spencer?
Arthur would probably be helping the mechanics repair the ship.
Of course.
But when he heard he was on his way, he'd probably come out as well.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So
And Spencer would be helping with the repairs too. Anything to get us off this rock faster.
very cool.
Probably just like stuff. They're probably not letting me do anything.
Yeah, he's basically just like, give me that Hydra spanner. What is it from Shadow?
Yeah.
Is that Star Wars? Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah. Hammer.
Right. Anyways, you guys are outside by the cargo ramp when he drives up. You see him step out. I think I've described him before, but if I hadn't, he is a man that's probably in his early 50s. And he's a bit tall, on the tall side. Short cropped hair. Olive skinned. And dark hair. Brown eyes. And kind of chiseled features. And he kind of steps over to you guys, the security guards in tow. And they just kind of like... they just have like pistols and stuff like that. They don't have like... they're not equipped to the nines, you know. And... he just walks over to you guys and offers his hand in a very civilian manner. And he's very relaxed. And he offers to shake both of your hands.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Walk up, greet him with a handshake. Director, I appreciate you coming all the way out here in person.
He says, well, we're not that far from the from our current temporary outpost. He says, I want to, he looks at the captain at this moment, and he says, I want to thank you immensely for what you and your team have done, especially for what you did in the lab. It's hard to describe how much it's helped us in this time. What was going on the north side of the base was something that took almost our entire military effort, and you handling that at the lab gave us the opportunity to handle that and focus entirely on it, and I appreciate you immensely for that. And we have something arriving shortly as sort of a payment. I know we can't pay you, but I think this will help you because of other news that I have regarding Dr. Breach.
Well, I appreciate your thanks. Out of character, news regarding Dr. Breach as in our buddy Dr. Breacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, so Dr. Jack Breach and I have come to an agreement over the last 24 hours. He would like to stay behind in Takis under the official employment of the Takis Defense Force. This is something that he wouldn't have had the opportunity to do if it wasn't for his debt that was repaid because of Aston. He's informed me of everything that transpired. And given our dire circumstances and that a number of our medical staff were killed in the attack that took place in our military base just 2 days ago, well, I'm glad to have him despite the circumstances and despite his checkered past. So, Aston, I will repay Dr. Jack Breach's debt to you. And Captain Roosevelt, I also have a gift for you and your crew, since I know you will be short a doctor now. And at this point, you guys hear another truck arriving behind him. And it seems to have cargo in the back, which is covered with some kind of canopy. And he says, so this is, of course, this isn't a doctor. We're short on doctors at the moment. But, so this is the doctors tried to explain it to me. Perhaps your staff can better understand the device. Unfortunately, it's taken a little bit of a beating, but it's still in working order. Maybe some minor repairs can be done to it. But anyways, this device, from what I understand, if you use it in a medical lab, it improves the healing process. If a person spends just an hour or two in it a day, it helps them recover when they're wounded. Some sort of nano healing process. I don't know all the details, but it's your device. We're giving it over to you. We'll be getting new ones in supply, and to you. So,
thank you, sir.
Out of character, once you unload this and Arthur gets it hooked up and put in your medical lab, it'll give you +2 to recovery rolls. So
nice.
Yep.
Arthur is very excited about this, but then he speaks up. He says, "Excuse me, sir. I hope this isn't insensitive, but Greg mentioned you may have damaged equipment we might be able to use to construct some sort of a science station for our ship, which we would find very helpful."
We can discuss that. Yeah, we can. I can take you over to the other facilities where we're currently pulling out equipment that we're taking out of our facilities and currently doing an inventory of what we have left over and what is damaged and what is still good. And you can look over what you might need, and we can discuss it with personnel, and perhaps you can find things that you can use.
I would appreciate that.
All right. Okay, cool. And he says, of course, in the next couple hours, you should be getting a whole team of people that should be on their way that should help you finish these repairs that you need to make. So hopefully they should improve your repair time and get you guys up and running here soon. And he says, Aston, and he holds out a PDD device, and he just swipes it, and he swipes over money to you. So you're.
Well, before he does that,
yes.
as he's holding it out to exchange, I'm gonna hold my hand up and say, "Can we talk in private for one moment, please?"
Captain Roosevelt, do you mind?
Not at all. I'll step back up the ramp some.
No, he says, no, it's your ship. We'll go this way. I just wanted to pass it by you. And then he says, Aston, come with me.
Yep. So I'm going to turn off comms.
Yeah.
Step aside.
Yes.
So, with all of the damages and everything that has happened, I have a business proposal for you. Instead of repaying me in credits, how about you extend my father's contract for 3 more years? That way, you save the money up front, you have the guaranteed help of my family, and we can continue our business partnership.
3 years.
3 years. I think that's fair, seeing as you said your entire team was almost wiped out at the labs, and it was our actions are directly what related to that, and it's not like
you're going to make a persuasion roll.
Services.
You're going to make a persuasion roll. 3 years is a long time. Make a persuasion roll. All right. He says, 3 years is a very long time, Aston.
Oh.
But
how many years have we been working together?
He says, but you've gotten me. That lab job was a big job. Damn. How about this? A year and a half, and I give you the money. We'll renegotiate at the end of the year. Sorry, at the end of the year and a half.
How about 2 years and you keep the money? This contract means more to me than the credits do. Your business partnership means more to me than the credits do.
Fine.
Reached out his hand to shake it.
But the minute your family doesn't keep up with the shipments.
We haven't let you down in all these years, and we will not do so in the future.
Yes, but we may be facing war this time. We're going to be needing a lot more shipments, potentially.
All I need is your blessing.
All right. You have it. We'll draw off the paperwork.
Reaches out to shake.
Shakes your hand.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And anything else you need while I'm on this planet, just let me know.
He says, no, we're good. We're good. Of course. Reach out to me. He says, he shakes your hand. He says, you drive a hard bargain. Your family. Man. Look, I want to see, send me information about what ships you'll be using to make the shipments as soon as you get them, okay?
Will do.
Set me at
ease. As soon as our ship here is repaired, and I'm able to make proper communication with my family, we will get all the details squared away, and I will have them send the memo over to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So you return to your friends, and so I guess we'll jump ahead a couple hours. Texas Defense Force sends more people to help with the repairs. Means it'll get done in 4 days instead of 9. So, all right, now, Matt, I'm gonna need Arthur to make a supervising repair roll, please.
Don't fuck up.
That is enough. That is good enough. Okay. Essentially, this is him just watching over the others, making sure everyone's doing everything kosher, making sure there's not any big errors made, that sort of stuff. And, he feels confident that these guys have done good work and no major problems with the repairs. And Levi, at this point, it's a good time to update you guys on a couple of things. Specifically, Levi. What have you guys been doing for food during this time?
We're all starving. We're not eating anything.
Legit question.
Yeah. So, I assume we would have been eating out of our ship stores,
Yeah.
and or trying to see about restocking some of any of this.
Okay. All right. Well, that means your ship payment is due in 7 days, and you only have 4 days left of food stores.
Check.
You haven't flown the ship, so you haven't used any fuel.
So,
if you guys are wondering how we're tracking this, Levi keeps track of this stuff on his character sheet.
yeah.
You guys can keep track of it on your character sheets if you want to as well. I'd be glad to put on your sheets as well. But we'll be using his as the correct information.
Then my
that, by the way, that ship means the ship payment. So that's when Captain Davidson would pay his payment every month.
wish I knew Captain Davidson's original plan on how to pay for any of this.
The way he paid for his payment?
Yeah,
he has a card, a chip card that actually bro doesn't have a chip card. He probably just enters a code into the computer.
Yeah.
And then transmits a signal to the nearby office, wherever that is.
Sure.
The local office. And they keep a database in the Griffin Explorer of local offices that's updated whenever you reach nearby systems. And basically they just enter a specific code, and then you just basically transfer the credits.
Right. I meant more along the lines of like...
Oh, and you told his
his
wife that he was dead. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that might raise a few red flags if the payment's still getting made and the person who supposedly was making it is dead. But
it'll be fine.
Well, I mean, you don't just keep making a lease payment on a Kia when the person who had the Kia is dead.
Right, you just steal the Kia.
Right, the car technically needs to be returned to the Kia dealership. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
was he leasing it, or was he like rent to own, or I mean,
are you asking is it paid for?
I know it's not paid for.
Right. Either way, either way, it doesn't matter. You know.
Okay.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
I didn't think about the fact that it was.
You should probably call the main office. Is what I'm saying. You should probably let them know that you want to keep the ship and you want to take over payments. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Check.
Before
Can
they
we just
report
steal
it
it,
stolen.
file down the VIN?
Yeah. You can try that in this setting.
Suddenly pirates.
Good luck going through a jump cannon.
Don't worry, I have a great persuasion roll.
That ain't gonna help you going through a jump cannon.
Okay, yeah. So I would be working on that and probably come to Aston and saying, okay, you seem to have some good business knowledge. What the hell can we do to make some more money while we're sitting here? Because the crew, are gonna be needing more food, and more credits for a ship payment relatively soon.
How dirty are you willing to get your hands?
Well, you've seen what we already did just to help. So, but I mean, we're not.
You can always just chip in together and buy more food.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
But.
All right, gotcha.
Well, there's always jobs to be had. There's a few contacts I could reach out to here that are probably less than on the books. There's always gambling. We have.
That is not my forte.
But we do have someone that can access people's minds, so it could be useful.
Oh my God, you're gonna turn into the same people that he ran from. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Spencer, do you want to keep eating? Read the nice man's mind and tell me if I'm gonna win or not.
You're gonna be the Tano-Clav all over again.
I would never ask you to do something that you're not comfortable with. I would only ask you to get comfortable with doing it.
Nice. Nice. I want to remind you guys that buying food here will be really, really cheap.
And it will taste like bug.
No.
It'll taste fine. It'll taste fine. You just have to come to terms with what it is.
No, fuck that. Ooh, hey.
We figured out how to make them do that, remember?
So in character, if we're looking for food, I'm pretty sure that Mary Jo would be more than willing to cook us some food after saving her son. And that way we don't have to eat bugs.
Wouldn't it still be bugs?
No, when we ate food there, that was...
You can see if she has enough.
Food.
You can see if she has enough good food to give you guys some few more days to make you to last you till you get to Ilar, maybe, or to a station in Ilar. Is that what you're thinking?
Do we have
that's actually a good idea.
Do we have inventory of how much rations we have on the ship right now, or are we bone dry?
Yes, we got 4 days worth of rations.
And how long does it take to get to Ilar from here?
That's a good question.
It
you
will
should have took the next system over, but
it will take 2d6 minus 2, so 5 days.
So we need to get a day's worth of food. So if we can get
that's just to get to the jump cannon. To go into the Ilar, you can actually stop at that station at the jump cannon and resupply there. But the odds are pretty high that at that station that they'll probably be more grub food. Because you're in the Takis jump cannon.
Right.
But you can jump through to the Ilar system. That's to get to the jump cannon, the Takis jump cannon. Then you're into the Ilar system. And then I'll say a couple of days to the next station from there. So 7 days.
Okay, so we need to get a week's worth of traveling rations. And then we need enough to hold us over the 3-4 days that we're still going to be stuck here. And if we can go without eating this shit, I vote for that option every time.
I can get behind that, but just carrying some of that, the extra bug grub, might be A, smart, and B, sellable once we get to Ilar. You never can't tell.
Arthur, how long can a human go without eating?
What, about 40 days?
It depends on if you've got enough water, but I don't particularly feel like dealing with a extra cranky teenager.
Well, you all can eat it. I was speaking merely for myself.
Oh, you'll be fine. You get an easy 2 weeks out of you.
All I need is
How long until we have to resort to eating the teenager?
No, the teenager's way too scrawny.
Very true.
He's angsty.
Stringy.
Okay, so does one of you head to Mary Joe's?
I would call her.
Okay. All right.
That seems like a more reasonable thing than just.
Yeah. I mean, well, you have a kid to deliver, so, and I'm sure Mary Joe. I'm sure Dr. Jack Breach has come back and checked on the kid, so and talked to you guys.
I didn't realize we still had him.
Well, yeah, he probably made a recovery roll, because you make a recovery roll every 5 to 7 days, I think. He probably made a recovery roll here, and came back full, and that's what you're basically getting the food for, is taking care of her son.
Perfect. Yeah, when we deliver him back.
Yeah, he could be the test case for the nano coffin thing.
Yeah, sure. So, all right.
Hey Ben, just step in here. What to do? I don't really know.
I said it's fine. So,
okay. So, all right. So you guys return. So you call her. I guess you said you're gonna call her first. And
call her and just we have great news.
Right.
Everything was taken care of. Right. Ben is fully healed up. His leg is usable. Still probably going to take a little bit of time to heal, but
good to hear. Thank you so much. Do I need to pick him up, or do you guys need to haul him out? You want to haul him out here, or?
Well, we could definitely bring him. I wanted to let you know that unfortunately, Dr. Breach will not be with us. He has taken on another contract with the Takis government, but he wanted us to give you his regards and to let you know that if you need anything, to reach out to him directly.
Well, that's good. I'll be able to get a chance to see him at least. He'll be here, so I'll check with him, and I'll check with him from time to time. But thank you for speaking to me about him.
But we're going to get everything ready and head out. And we were curious if it would be possible if you had any more of that delicious food that you could spare.
Of course, I'll have a meal prepared when y'all come on over.
That would be wonderful. I have not had anything that tastes that good in weeks, it feels like.
Yeah, come on over. I'll have some more dinner. All right, so when y'all get over, it's not breakfast time. So this time it's a dinner. So y'all have a big dinner maybe when y'all get over there. And so over dinner, do y'all drop the bomb of requesting real food? Like basically just like wanting to get into her deep freezer, basically.
Sure. I have no problem doing that.
Okay. All right, cool. Are y'all offering to pay, or is it like, hey, we saved your son's life? And a 4 is a success. So,
I mean, it would really start out with like, if you have any to spare, so we don't have to eat this.
Of course.
Intrepid gunk, it would be welcome. But if you do require some sort of a payment for it, because I know getting this quality of food on this planet must not be that cheap to do, I would be more than willing to do that.
I would interject that we'll barter, trade, etc., whatever you feel is most helpful for you.
She says, hon, everything that you've done for my son is more than enough payment. My son is alive now because of y'all. So do not concern yourself for it.
Spencer, yeah. It's
He says,
get the bugs off.
Should kick him under the chair, under the table.
Yeah, nice.
I keep eating.
Nice. She says, everything I have now is because of you all. So do not concern yourselves over the price. I have a couple of deep freezers full of this food. It'll hold you over until you get to your destination, hopefully. I'm assuming your goal is it'll get you to the next system at least. So
that's all that we ask.
And so she leads you out and to a deep freezer, and I'm assuming one of you at least starts helping her pile up stuff into the landing shuttle. So
I'll definitely start helping.
Oh yeah.
yeah, so
I'm getting food out of it for sure.
yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, and I want to eyeball, see if I can get the good stuff.
Right, and canned goods, jarred goods.
He's getting the ice cream.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta make sure.
It's like pickled okra and and all kinds of like frozen, meats and all kinds of stuff. And
Yeah, I gotta make sure
canned
she's
goods.
not trying to stiff us with like all the vegetables and shit.
My God.
Like taking boxes of corn dogs.
All right. So
You guys are
no,
like,
she don't
"We
have no
can't
box
eat
of
fish."
corn dogs. She gives you the good stuff. All right, now, so you guys are loaded up with some good food. So, all right, so we'll give you. I'll give you. I think 7 days is. We'll say 6 days worth for four grown men is a lot.
Okay, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we'll give 6 days worth for 4 grown men. So that brings you up to 10 days. All right. Okay. Now what's next, guys? Y'all just take off, and what is your destination here?
Well, Arthur still wants to get the science equipment.
Oh, I'm assuming that you go
We just did that.
and
Okay.
you gather some things, and you won't get enough stuff to finish a science area, but you get some stuff, and and you can put it in the cargo hold for now, and I'll kind of figure out what that stuff includes for now. And essentially, if we figure out a price for the science facility later, we'll basically just reduce that for saying you already have some of these things.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And before we leave Mary Jo's house, while we're all eating dinner and whatnot, so with all of the calamity going on right now, do you know offhand of any odd jobs that may need a few strapping young men's attention to?
She says, "Well, I'm sure some of the farmers could definitely use some work, dealing with the grubs, because all of us have lost grubs, had some run out of the fields, need drones repaired, that sort of thing. If you're willing to get your hands dirty."
That'll be great for Spencer.
What?
He says, but she says, as far as like as work as pilots and stuff like that, I'm sure you're looking for, or of the violent nature like you helped me with my house. I don't think there's work like that here, unfortunately.
What about repairs?
I'm sure you can get work repairing drones for some of the local farms.
How hard is it to get these bugs to reproduce quickly? And I look at the doctor, like
Which doctor?
the Arthur. I'm calling him doctor. Sorry,
Yeah, I was gonna say technically he's not a doctor.
Arthur. Yeah, sorry. Like, didn't you find a way to?
Well, I mean, we can send a signal to make them reproduce.
The problem is that these creatures have, she says the problem is that the creatures have been getting more sluggish with every generation. We don't quite understand why. We think it's the effects of domestication. But they're just not wanting to reproduce as much. Like I said, we just don't seem to understand it. They're just not wanting to. They're not wanting to reproduce. We are already having to separate them to force them to. They just don't reproduce on their own in captivity. So it's just very difficult. So, and that's, I think someone was researching how to fix that problem somewhere, but I don't remember his name.
So, in captive domestication, are you saying that there are these things in the wild?
Well, yes. On other planets. They're not native here in the wild.
So how did so many of them get here?
Well, we shipped them here.
So does Takis not have any natural resource of its own?
No.
Of all the things you guys could have adapted, this is where you choose to make your bread and butter.
She says, you
can make bread and butter out of these things, right?
No, stop it. No.
she says, oh, honey, yeah, as much as you spent in space, you haven't learned that the most valuable thing in space is just a planet with a good atmosphere and decent gravity and decent oxygen levels. I mean, you're glad to have natural resources at that point. So
I can't argue that.
We were just glad to have a rock that could sustain human life. So you can always bring the insects to it.
Just for my own gross humor, what planet are these things native to?
I think it's called Helios. It's like 30 light years from here.
Levi, I never want to go to Helios.
Sorry, man. That's the next stop after Ilar.
I will be getting off at Ilar.
So wait, you're saying the bugs aren't reproducing well right now, and then I'm looking at Arthur like, is that not what you got them to do earlier?
Yes, we sent a frequency out, and I think they started at least trying to reproduce. I imagine if you did that all the time, that would kill them quickly. I don't know what the effects would be.
Well, he can take that same device that Dr. Freeman was working on and make him want to screw again. Like you created a counter frequency. You counteracted that.
Well, I thought
you're right.
Okay.
But Friedman was working on a frequency to do that, and she screwed with it and made them aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. I got you.
In OOC, I'm assuming Freeman's the one that was researching the stuff that she was speaking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
She just didn't know his name.
Yep.
You guys learned it last session. That's why I'm dropping the name.
Yep.
That thwarts the idea of just flying around charging to help.
But Matt could pick up his research and try to finish it, or give them, or try to you guys could get paid to maybe, I don't know, pick up his research where he left off.
Yeah, at this point, us and Dale are the only ones that know.
Whatever happened to that
guy? He works for Takis Defense Force, so I'm assuming he went back to his job.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I saved his info.
It might be a good idea to finish that research and
sell it off to the highest bidder. I agree.
Yeah.
It certainly seems like it would help the entire planet. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes, help them, of course.
I'm open to doing it.
Y'all offer
you
to
got
do
at least
that?
4 days. Chop, chop.
Ain't no thing.
Well, I could make 2 phone calls and start a bidding war for that information.
Perhaps you need some more science equipment to finish it.
That's what I was thinking. It would be very useful to have more science equipment. I have full science station.
I hear you.
So in the interim,
I'll just throw you back in that bottom of that pit in the lab where you were at before.
Won't even clean up the bloodstains.
Nope.
In the interim, there is a full lab that seems to have a reduced number of personnel that may be at your disposal for research.
Yeah, just go put the components back in that you took out.
You just got to replace the monitor.
That's all that's wrong with it.
I'm not even going to say anything. He didn't specify what to shoot. I was aiming at the monitor. You should have been more clear.
You did great.
I hit
Proud
what
of
I was
you.
aiming at.
Good. For future reference.
So is that the plan? Is that y'all gonna like tell
Yes.
them, hey, we can maybe fix this thing and make the bugs want to screw again? Y'all want to do that?
I think so.
Okay, all right. So y'all call Dr. Barris and be like, hey, we can maybe fix this. We can finish Dr. Freeman's research and pick it up where we left off, right?
Man, that sounds like we're giving all the cards that way. Hey, director, I heard that you have a issue with your product in which they are not reproducing at the rate that you would like them to. And I was curious if you needed any assistance in maybe working to correct this problem.
Yeah, let's have that conversation actually. Let's see how that goes. So Arthur, well, who's calling? Who's calling? Because you're gonna have to.
I'll call.
All right, so
Can you put it on speaker?
yeah, because you may have to use technobabble in this conversation. So Director Barris answers, says, so I'm assuming you guys are doing this about, we'll say the next day, when you guys are looking for jobs, you've secured food, you've got 3 days left, and the repair is underway. So Director Barris answers, he says, Aston, how can I help you?
Hey, sorry to bother you directly again, but I had a thought. We had a nice dinner with Mary Jo Stockton last night, and in conversation, she mentioned that the grubs aren't breeding as well as you would like them to. So, as I'm sitting here thinking, with you guys losing a lot of your crops due to all of this shenanigans that happened and them not breeding, that what if there was a way that we could assist with maybe jump-starting the breeding process on a grand scale?
Care to elaborate?
Well, and then Arthur will speak up. Are we on on speaker here?
Yeah, sure.
Arthur will speak up and say, well, similar to the way we counteracted the signal being broadcast from that lab, I'm pretty certain we can tweak that so that instead of being aggressively violent, they can be aggressively reproductive.
This sounds similar to the research that Dr. Freeman himself was working on. Give me 1 second, hold on, and then you hear him typing away. And he says, yes, I have some information here. It looks like he was doing a similar sort of research. It looks like signal-based research. He transmitted a signal, and then it basically calls the bugs to react a certain way in response?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you think you can basically, you think if you had access to his files, you could pick up where his research was left off?
Oh, his files would definitely help.
And let me guess, you wouldn't be doing this out of the kindness of your heart, I'm assuming.
Well, it would be very helpful to have a full science station on the ship.
Oh. Well, I'm definitely not going to be sending over Takis Defense research and development documents over to your ship for you to be doing this work on your ship. So I would like this to be done. Probably the best place would be for it to be done in the same laboratory where Dr. Freeman himself was doing the research. Given the equipment is already there, it makes sense. So, and
if I may interject, One thing I would say, though, is that, and no offense to you, sir, but we have already proven that that system can be compromised. Whereas if we do it on our ship, we may actually have better control over the entire variable.
Yeah, but you can also steal the information. Or your ship could be blown up, your ship could be compromised. I mean, plus it's just a vast amount of information. I mean, it'd be hard for you to transfer the data from your ship to our drives. So, I mean, at least not without being picked up by someone else. So
out of character, didn't we already do this on accident?
No, you just jammed it. You just jammed it with your own signal. You didn't actually make them want to screw.
I thought we did. I thought at one point we did something that it did that.
I don't think so.
I thought we did too, but
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was like a weird interaction result or what. But
I thought we did something like that, and then the little breadcrumb you gave us was that that Arthur realized that by just changing the variable of the signal just slightly.
No, I think I just described. I think I just gave him, because he got such a really high roll in the science roll. That's basically how they made it work. Is that I basically described that's all it took was the switch to make them aggressive, was just a slight tweak. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he says, look, you can make a persuasion roll. You can try, but the penalty on that's I'm gonna have to say a -4, because he's not really gonna want to budge on the. Wow.
I got you, my dude.
Okay. All right.
So my counter to that would be, I understand your caution with this, sir, but again, with our history, you know that my name means something to me on a deeper level than anything else, and I would never offer my name on a job with allowing myself to be brought down into the mud. I'm only doing this because I feel this would be the most optimal way to get this job done. Who knows? They may still have some sort of bug in the lab there that they could be tracing what you're doing.
We haven't been able to sweep that laboratory yet. That's a good point. You are leaving this planet in 3 days.
And everything that we find out, you will have before we do.
But we can't give you that equipment if we're not sure if there's a bug in it. So we're going to have to give you all new equipment from the other facility. Can you make that new equipment work? No, you're going to have to make sure it's operational for your job. Can you do that in the amount of time?
Arthur?
I think so, especially if we have some people to help. When we have a crew working on our ship right now.
Well, you're going to need a whole other lab team to help you with this job. That team is not to be involved at all in this operation.
Do you have any from this other lab that could help?
Yes. We'll send you a whole other lab team with security clearance. Okay.
Okay.
All right. They'll be down shortly. You're going to have to work day and night on this project, Arthur, to finish it in 3 days.
Okay.
All right. And I'll send you all payment when the job is complete.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, you got your science lab, Matt.
So
as soon as we hang up, I'm going to look at Arthur and be like, as soon as we hang up, we'll look at Arthur and say, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, because if you fuck this up.
Well, since he harvested the components from the cyborg assassin, he is going to quickly come up with a way of scanning anyone who comes on board that has a similar implant.
Okay.
Because
all right.
Yeah.
why wouldn't they have plants in other labs if they weren't? They may not have been sure where.
True. That's true. Good point.
So
that's
he's
true.
gonna make sure they're not.
Make sure they're kosher. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this a dramatic task because I think that this is appropriate to be a dramatic task. Okay. All right.
And just so you're aware, since we did our advances, not raise, he took Mr. Fix-It, which gives +2 to repair rolls, and halves for every raise, halves the time.
Oh, nice.
So
look at that.
That will be helpful for this.
Okay, is anybody going to be helping him with this?
Man, I did my job.
Science.
Well, it'll be
Repair would help.
the 3 skills that I will think will be appropriate for this will be electronics, repair, and science.
I have 2 of those. Okay, I can do electronics. I've got a shit ton of bennies. So
can I substitute any of those skills with a general smarts roll?
No. This is the kind of thing you got to be trained at.
my only concern is I just don't want to like crit fail it. But
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't do that.
yeah, because I mean my problem is I only have like a D4.
That means that you have a 25% chance of getting a 4.
I have 1 Benny left, so
All right. I'm looking up
Actually,
how to do this with multi-persons if y'all want to do it with multiple
yeah.
people. Okay. You guys can keep talking while I'm doing this.
Yeah,
He's got a 25% chance of acing and
yeah.
getting
Well, I mean,
5 or more.
well, to crit fail, you'd have to roll 2 ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we're probably okay. I mean, if you want the help, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm untrained in everything that we need, so I would not be any help there.
I think I would be much more concerning myself much more with the, like, keeping an eye on all of these people crawling all over the ship and just sort of managing in a not very good manager kind of way.
we could be making sure we get the components in a quick and fluid manner and keep everything moving. That would be a help, right?
Yep. I just don't think I have an actual mechanical help there. That's just sort of what he's doing.
You don't have like, I don't know, leadership or I don't know what that is. I saw it.
No, I've thought about a billion different characters that I've wanted to have leadership in Savage Worlds, but never actually done it.
Now's the one.
Might end up with it. We'll see. Cool. I could, well, this isn't exactly directly after, but my adventure card says play after completing a good deed of some import. Everyone who contributed receives a point of conviction. But so I don't. It came up before. I don't remember if we're
conviction. We can look it up and find out what conviction is. We'll talk about it. So
conviction, it's one of those optional setting rule type things, but it's it's like a token, but it's like an extra cool Benny almost, because you add a d6 to a final trait or damage roll. The die can ace, and its total is added to the final result, as opposed to, you just rolling one of the two.
Okay, well then, yeah, that could definitely work here.
Yeah, I'd say us extorting the director is a good deed.
Well, I was going to call back to just all of that other stuff we did.
Oh yeah, we brought the boy back home and stuff.
Yeah.
Many good deeds.
Well, I mean, you could maybe use it. Okay, describe to me how it works again now. Hold on. It's
so the card itself
play after
says
completing
renown.
Oh, no, I meant conviction. Seems like something we could apply. Okay, let me see. Play after completing a good deed of some import. Everyone who contributed receives a point of conviction. Oh, okay. If not using conviction, they refresh their bennies instead. Whoa.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I don't want to overly complicate things. I don't want to like start using a lot of house rules. So I say we could just use the refresh.
Cool.
Refresh bennies.
Sounds good to me.
That gives 2 of the players 2 more bennies. So reset bennies. So boom.
Swoosh. Then I could definitely try and help with a repair roll and have a Benny to not crit fail it.
Okay. All right, so another way the dramatic task will work basically is we're going to use a round countdown in your dealt cards, just like combat would. Basically, I'm going to treat each round for every day of work, okay, that you're doing. Normally, dramatic tasks are used for like stuff like disabling bombs and that kind of stuff. In this case, you're not going to blow up anything, but the dramatic thing that will happen is if you guys fail and you guys really burn like your connections with attack and defense force, and you just guys really fail out, and you don't receive the money, and it's going to really hurt your reputation with them, and it's really important for you guys to do this. So you've really put yourselves under the gun here. So plus I want to try out the dramatic task rules. So each turn you'll get to try to use one of the skills, okay? One of the skills, I'll say, of electronics, science, or electronics. I'm sorry, electronics, science, or repair. Whoever's involved in this, okay? And I'll say that you need to collect, if I remember correctly, it means that you have to collect, I believe, I'll close it out. I think it was an accident. I believe it's you guys, okay, so how many are going to be participating?
Not I.
So just Levi and Matt?
Is Spencer going to help?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do electronics.
Okay. All right. So I need you guys to each of you to collect 3 tokens each round. All right. Now, each success is worth a token. A raise will get you a second to token, and that sort of stuff. Now, if you're dealt action cards and you get a club, the task becomes more difficult. Okay? All right? Now, each day, you're going to have to make a vigor roll. Okay? Because you're getting less sleep. If you fail the vigor roll, you're going to suffer a level fatigue. Okay? All right? Which will apply penalties. Okay? Rolls? Got it?
Before we start all that, how long does it take wounds to go away?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get to make a recovery roll every, I believe, 5 days. Recovery roll every 5 days. Let me double check on that, but I think it's every 5 days.
And then
healing,
just for
natural healing, wounded characters can make a vigor roll every 5 days.
And just for clarity, the healing roll that the doctor used on him would not count as his own bigger healing roll, would it?
He can only do that roll during the golden hour, which is the first hour if you're wounded. No, that's not a natural recovery roll.
Okay, so then everybody that has a wound should be able to do a natural recovery roll.
At the end of 5 days of rest, you can make one.
Oh, so you have to wait the full 5 days before you can make one. Okay.
Does the nanite back to tank make any difference with that?
At the end of the 5 days, you'll get to make the roll at the +2 bonus.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. And as an unskilled nobody in this mess, is there any way for me to assist?
I
You
mean,
can bring coffee.
I can say that that gives them a +1 bonus to vigor rolls. If
Cool,
you're
let's do
waiting
that.
on them hand and foot. If you're waiting on them hand and foot, sure. And you're role playing that you're being there and you're trying to be helpful. Sure.
See, when you say waiting on him hand and foot,
If you're doing that, I'll make you make vigor rolls though to get fatigue as well. So
I mean, Acid's not gonna be waiting on anybody hand and foot.
Your name's on the line, though.
That's true, but there's also a deeper rooted thing there. I mean, if it's like, hey, make some coffee for us, he'd probably do it. But if it's like at your beck and call, ain't gonna happen.
okay, Spencer, make your skill roll. What skill are you gonna use to help them during this turn?
Electronics. My electronics and repair are the same. So I'm just gonna use
Okay.
electronics.
All right, make a roll. You're on fire, man. Okay, unless he spends a Benny, he will add no tokens to the pool.
I'm gonna Benny it just because I want to get this over with. Nice.
There we go.
There it is.
All right. Okay. Sweet. All right. Okay. Nice. So he's collected 1 token for everyone. Arthur.
She said we need 3 a day.
Yes, and since Arthur has, what did that thing say? You said mix or fix it?
Yeah, Mr. Fix It.
Okay.
It's a +2 to repair.
Okay. All right. Make a skill roll appropriate.
All right. He is going to use repair.
Oh, sweet Jesus, yes.
Okay, he collected the rest of the tokens. All right, so he has gotten, he got 3 tokens. So you've gotten 1 token banked for the next day. All right.
Well, okay, that's what I was going to say because for every raise, he halves the time normal.
Yes, that's how I'm going to roll it, is that he's getting banking it for the next day, which is essentially the +2 bonus for Mr. Fix is helping there. So, and Levi, what are you doing?
I'm going to try and help repair as well.
Okay. Look at this.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
2 more.
2 more. So you guys might actually... Okay, so you've done 2 days worth of repairs in 1 day. Okay.
Nice.
I need you guys to make vigor rolls of all of you. Or you guys, hold on. Or you guys can decide to take a nap and rest.
Just skip a day kind of thing.
And just rest and take a day break.
Mm-mm.
Sleep.
Arthur's feeling good. He's on a roll. He can't stop now.
I like to push it. Oh, I also like to Benny things. Why did... Oh, right, because I'm elderly. I forgot.
Yeah, old.
Those didn't roll at all. Wait, those actually didn't roll. Okay. Roll. There it goes. Ha-ha!
Oh.
There you go.
Do I need to make one as well?
Are you waiting on them hand and foot bringing coffee?
No.
Okay. All right, then no.
Where's
Spencer's
the
good.
coffee, damn it?
What about Arthur?
Oh, he
I heard
went,
there's some
he
in
went
the
first.
break room.
Oh, you went first and I missed it. Okay, everybody's good. No fatigue. 1 more round, fellas. Second day. All right, so let's see how this goes.
Electronics.
Spencer goes first.
Nice.
So far, he's been some help.
Gonna Benny that. Been a little bit.
You might not have to.
Don't listen to the devil.
Wee Benny. Fucking fuck. I'm gonna Benny one more time. Just because I can.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you a refresh.
Yeah.
There we go.
3.
Nice.
For the raise.
Only need
That's a
1 penny
raise.
left.
And only 1 token left
Maybe
now,
I should have
right?
made y'all have to collect more tokens.
Nah, we're good. Okay, let's repair some stuff again.
Look,
Yay.
jeez, with these repair rolls. My God. Okay. Okay, so you guys have the equipment fully built. Arthur, you felt like the last day all you had to really do was supervise, man. You set up everything, and you got your team working like a well-oiled machine. And the second day, all you had to do was supervise, man. And they had everything, and they were just kind of running, you know, up and running. So, and so they got everything fully built equipment-wise, and you fired up the machines, and you think you've essentially got to the point to where you can you think fire up the signal, essentially replicating what Dr. Freeman had done, and essentially what the synth agent had done, but except set it up to change the signal, modify the signal to the way in which you want it to do. So, all right.
So Arthur, do we want to test the signal near? If we're pretty sure it's going to work, test it on the bugs near that Mary Jo owns or whatever.
Well, I think there's a pit just outside near our ship. So if we keep it very contained, limited field, I think that would probably be safest. Why Mary Jo?
I
Just want to help her.
Well, yeah, to help her.
Oh, okay.
That was the thought, but you're right. Being safer is probably smarter.
Let's test it here first, and then we can do more extensive tests over near her farm.
10-4. All right.
And can I make a research roll that during that 3 days that I was back to trying to figure out more things about that science lab to figure out why there was a missile silo there?
You put on the rad suit and went back out there?
No. Research, computer-wise.
Oh.
While they're doing all that.
Sure.
Since... Oh, dear.
You found cat videos.
There's now malware on the computer. In your personal room. Or wherever you were doing it at. So, click the link, and now there's malware on there. And you're going to have to tell Spencer to fix your computer.
I'm going to blame it on Spencer. It's fine.
You're not supposed to go to those kinds of sites, boys.
Listen, they said that I won 1 million credits. I was just claiming my credits.
Yeah, some prince on some planet said he owed me money.
Yeah.
Oh, you know about the Helios Prince too?
Yeah. All right, so, okay, but anyways, you guys test out the machine, and it seems to be, so you guys don't separate the bugs, like in any sort of smaller, like isolated test, or are you just going to fire it at the giant pit?
Well, the pits are separated.
They're like the size of a football field, though.
Oh, that is a big pit.
We've got Spencer. He can take care of them.
Well,
are you going to tell this farmer that you're about to make all his grubs start screwing?
Yeah. We'll let people know.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can I reach out to the director to get his blessing to do this?
Sure, you get his blessing.
and then assuming that he's going to make the proper people aware that, hey, this shit's about to go down.
All right, okay. All right. The signal works adequately. The signal works to its goals. So, all right, and of course the insects start doing what they were programmed to do. So, I won't elaborate, but they start,
Arthur, do you have a way of backing this information up onto a drive?
Well, yeah, I mean we have all the information and blueprints and all that.
Back it up onto a secondary drive.
Of course, I always have backups.
Good.
Always save your work.
Because they're probably going to make us clear this data, and we want it to be as clean as possible. And make sure that they cannot detect that you made the backup.
Right. Arthur will ask for Spencer's help to make sure he's doing it right. Also, Aston, since you're doing some research stuff, do you mind researching the serial number I found in the assassin's head? I don't know if it'll lead us to the corporation or government behind it, but it might be useful in the future.
I will, but I need to tend to a matter on my PC first.
Got it.
Seems to be working sluggishly compared to how it was.
Should have Spencer look at it.
You can always go to a different computer. On the main deck, perhaps.
Hell no, I'm not going to go malware on the main deck's computers. Are you kidding me?
We're stranded another week while Spencer chases the malware out of the ship's computer.
That's funny.
I can tell you're
Aston types like this.
Nice. Okay.
Spencer is suddenly the IT guy. I love it.
So you just type the serial number of the synth agent that you just slaughtered on the internet with Google. I mean, you just is that pretty much what you do?
No,
I'm not doing nothing with it right now.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'm going to take the information, I'm going to save it, and then when I feel that I have an adequate grasp of how this research works, then maybe we'll explore that option.
Okay. All right. 10-4. All right.
I
So
think
you guys
he was
got
gonna
it.
type
And
cranial.
so, okay, so we actually probably want to briefly discuss how you guys get paid. So, since you're the captain, I mean, so how do you guys normally get paid on the ship? Like, how does it look as far as? I mean, probably the easiest way for you guys to get paid in the game mechanically is for like when you guys take a job, all of you bump up a wealth die, you know, mechanically speaking. But when you guys get paid, like in the story, like how does that look? Is Levi the one that gets paid, and does he pay y'all paychecks, or like y'all like how does it look? Like how does it work?
Aston would definitely want to be paid directly.
It's just an archaic method, right? Like like in the modern world, that doesn't really happen, right? I mean, you don't own the ship. Does that make sense? You don't make payments on the ship. So why would you? Does that make sense? Unless he's making you pay a quarter share on the ship payments. I'm just saying, if you think about it from a realistic point of view, like how does Levi handle that?
Well, I think, I mean, Levi and Arthur are the only ones from the original crew, are
Yes.
they not? So
The way
I mean,
Davidson did it, is he paid you guys a salary, or at least a paycheck. And he handled all the jobs, and he received payments, and he paid you guys a salary. He paid you guys more if he got better jobs, like bonuses. But, I mean, it's not like you're a crew of pirates. You know, there's not loot,
Yeah.
you know. But, I mean, you know, it's up to you guys. But it's just something to think about for your characters. I mean, I think game mechanically, probably the way we should the way we should do it is just everybody goes up a wealth die. But it's just it would probably be a good way to think of how you do it as far as in story. Because, I mean, all the burden story-wise for paying the ship payment goes on Levi or whoever owns the vessel. Because it's unrealistic in a modern setting for you to have a ship payment alone in 4 people's name.
Yeah.
You know, who in their right mind would go into debt with 3 other people? You know, so it's something to think about. So, but I guess mechanically, do y'all always want me to mechanically handle it by just giving y'all ether wealth die increase?
I'm fine with that.
I don't have any issues.
Probably the easiest
know
way
what-
to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what the alternative would be.
I'm looking at Jeremy's face. He's got like, it looks like he's got
Confused.
something.
No, I don't. I'm tired and trying to. I don't know.
Okay. Well, each of you bump your wealth die 1 step because Tactics Defense pays you all for the work you did.
Mhm.
And they'll receive the research that you completed from you. And you guys did say you backed it up?
Yes, it's encrypted 4 ways from Friday.
It's encrypted? Who encrypts it?
I mean, I guess we could have Spencer encrypt it. I
Yeah,
assumed they have military grade encryption in the future. I mean, we do now.
Well, yeah, but it's going to need someone to actually do that. So I guess Spencer can try to do that with hacking.
Let's see. This just went up, so good enough, I guess.
Ooh, just barely made it. Okay. All right. Okay. And so good time for you guys now to make your natural recovery rolls. Right around the time we leave. Right around the time the game ends. So I want each of you to make a vigor roll with a +2 bonus.
Do I need to make this?
If you're wounded.
I don't think I am.
No, you're not wounded. You're good.
Yeah, I was about to say he got that super duper roll on me.
Nice, made it.
You guys didn't make it with a +2 though.
I did.
I did.
Oh, what?
I'm elderly and have a wound.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Okay.
Basically, being elderly means you're walking around with a wound at all times.
Only when I make actual vigor, strength, or agility rolls directly.
Oh, okay.
Yes would have been a much
Bonuses
simpler
like
answer.
intelligence or anything.
All right, so both
Only
of you
when I have
guys
to
can
do
take away
anything.
your wounds then. So you're back up. And so we're drawing near the end of the session. So you got your ship back full of food. And we're going to check off some days on your ship payment. And towards your ship payment. And now your characters. So what's your destination here?
Ilar, I thought.
Yeah, I need to get back. I need to get back to Daddy.
You guys are taking him back
I would like to
Daddy.
Daddy.
I should have asked Aston to do this already, but check around and just see if there's any sort of like generic cargo that needs to get from here to Ilar, just so we're not
That makes sense. We have a delivery
empty kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before we leave, but other than that, I don't know of anything specific kind of thing.
Sure,
yeah.
You can look around.
Well, with that, couldn't I reach out to Mr. Maris because he's the one that renewed the contract? I assume that he would have something for Ilar if he's renewing a contract with someone from Ilar.
The businessman that you're on tenuous relationship with.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's breaching positivity. Yeah. I mean, we are the unsung heroes here. I'm thinking that we gotta have a little renown at this point.
All right, Robert Maris. Okay, all right. Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, so you go find him, and his assistant that you spoke to earlier speaks to you and says, "We don't really have any shipments heading out of Takis, unfortunately, at the moment." Especially not to Ilar. Right now, we're kind of needing everything on Takis at the moment. I mean, they're on short supply of everything. So, we're
what
kind
about
of skimped.
messages? I know that there's concern with a pending war. Is there anybody on Ilar that you need to get a message to in a more discreet manner?
You're willing to discreetly move information for Mr. Maris?
Of course.
Let me go speak to him. He comes back. And he comes back and he says, "I'm sorry, we don't have any work of that nature for you."
Arthur speaks up. Is there anything we can pick up from Ilar that we could bring back? You said you need all sorts of stuff here right now.
Aston is already aware of our terms. This is what Mr. Maris has said.
So with a 14 notice, can I read this guy to see if he's bullshitting?
Oh, it's very obvious that
Okay.
this is the assistant you spoke to earlier and had very good terms with. Mr. Maris seems to not want to have any dealings with you until your first... It's very obvious that Mr. Maris doesn't want to have any dealings with you until your first agreement is settled.
Well, we're killing two birds with one stone. Let Mr. Maris know that I have arranged with the director a renewal of our contract for 2 additional years. So I expect that our business relationship will continue on great terms. And I can assure him that we need to move to Ilar to finish up the initial agreement. So we would really be killing two birds with one stone.
Mr. Maris won't budge. But I know of someone who you can get work for going to Ilar. Now, Director Barris does not handle these sorts of affairs. Takis Council, the council itself, or at least Representation Council, or handles this matter. But they're wanting to send a diplomat to Ilar. I know they're looking for a pilot to get a diplomat to Ilar. You're not going to convince Maris to give you anything else, Aston. But look, I can tell you where to find this diplomat. You get him to Ilar, they'll give you a paycheck if that's what you're looking for.
Let's go look to Levi.
We got plenty of beds.
Okay.
Who do we talk to?
Okay. All right. You guys are interested in finding this diplomat, huh? Okay. All right.
The last discreetly moved person worked out very well for us.
Oh, this is not discreetly moved. It's just not something Director Barris handled. So it's not a military matter. So
now Ilar is the same as Ilar 4, right?
the Ilar system. Yeah. Ilar 4 is just another planet. Yeah, Ilar 4 is just another planet in the Ilar system. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to Ilar.
Well, you're going to the Ilar system.
Okay.
I'm sure Aston wants to go to Ilar 4 because that's where his family is from. So.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah,
does that bother you, Spencer?
It might. I might just stay on the ship. I don't know. These things, who knows?
All right, so we'll jump ahead to a scene where you guys meet with a. We'll jump ahead to a scene where you meet with in private quarters of an individual by the name of Endema Rosa, a dark-skinned woman with long black hair, and she's in quite regal clothes, and well, this is common facial features and ethnic, features of the region of Geneva and Takis, and she introduces herself, and she says, she offers you all a seat, and she says, it is imperative, now that Takis is considered a free nation, that we go to Ilar for defense and aid. We hope to be annexed by Ilar. Our goal was never to remain free. Our goal was to remain free from Geneva. So, I am being sent to Ilar to try to secure our transition over to ILAR control, if they'll have us. Unfortunately, at this moment, they have decided to agree to maintain their alliance with Geneva, and we've been left out in the cold. So I need to go down there and physically represent Takis. So, and I hear you're willing to fly me there?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I will be willing to pay you, of course, upon arrival in the ILR system, and then of course you're able to go about your own accord. I can of course secure a passage back. It's going to I should be there for months probably, trying to negotiate this arrangement. So I don't expect you to wait around for me. So would this arrangement suit your needs?
Miss Rose, I have a question. Would us taking you put us in any immediate danger if anybody found out that we were doing it?
Well, I'm sure there is, a small amount of risk, but I would think that most people would consider it, I guess, a vile act to take military action against a diplomatic vessel. But I guess there are some people who would take military action against a diplomatic vessel, but you can't deny that. But
Well, that leads me to my second point. You will be keeping the information of where you are traveling and who you are traveling with private?
My pilot and the captain and the vessel are going to be private, yes. But my travels are not private. So
But they will not know the exact time of departure or anything like that.
Of course.
And then the other question I have is, will us partaking in this action cause any unnecessary strain with the director?
No, I don't see why it
Barris,
would.
more specifically.
I don't see why it would. Director Barris just handles mostly military affairs and local defense and local operations, civilian matters mostly. This is in regards to the entire system at large. So this is a council matter. So it shouldn't affect your relationship with Director Barris.
Perfect. That's what I needed to know because I subcontract through him and I do not want to cause any unnecessary blemishes to my name. Other than that, I leave this up to the call of the captain here.
And she looks over at the captain and says, if you're already traveling to Ilar, then taking a passenger would just simply be on your way, perhaps, right?
My thoughts exactly.
Then we're in agreement?
Yep.
Okay. Can we leave first light?
I'm assuming the repairs are done. And
they'll be done tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Or at least you expect they'll be done tomorrow morning.
So we need to run a quick diagnostic on the ship before we take off, but assuming everything checks out, then yes.
He says, very well. Sounds wonderful. Thank you all for agreeing to fly me out to Ilar.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So she says, very well. My people will escort you out. And so you all depart. And so we'll jump ahead actually to that scene where you guys are leaving. So real quickly, since you guys just had major repairs done to the ship, I know we're wrapping up here now. But real quickly, I want you guys. So this is essentially a quick encounter. But what I want, anyone can be involved in this, of course. But you're going to need 3 successes on it. And it's going to be essentially a pre-flight check in this case. But I won't be doing these every time. It's mainly when you have either major damage or when you have major upgrades to your ship or that kind of thing like that. In this case, you had major repairs done. So we're going to be doing a pre-flight check. So the skills you can use are things like piloting, repair, electronics, that sort of stuff to help with the pre-flight check. And it'll be, I'll say a half an hour per roll. And so, actually, I'll say an hour actually per roll. So, so why don't you guys, whoever wants to assist in it can, but you need 3 successes.
Okay. I plan on rolling piloting.
All right.
Arthur
I'm gonna
will do
roll
repair.
electronics.
What'd you say, Shaun?
I'm gonna roll electronics.
Okay. All right, cool.
Just because I figured that's kind of my niche right now.
Ooh, everybody got just enough. Just enough. 3 successes out of 3 rolls. Good deal. Okay, so essentially that is Arthur going through the ship, going over all the repairs that everyone else made, scanning through and using his PDD and going through and making sure everything's been kosher. Spencer is going through the computers and doing sweeps, checking through all the systems and making sure everything has been done correctly. Checking, make sure all the systems are online and functioning, checking power levels, that sort of stuff. Jeremy is going through the pilot booting procedures, testing out engines, opening up all the, all the different kinds of, because Newtonian physics and all that kind of stuff, making sure everything opens, all that kind of stuff works, everything in that matter. And everything seems to be functioning. So essentially, in that case, if you guys failed, you wouldn't necessarily know something was wrong. And it'd be an opportunity for me as the GM to maybe use like a GM beanie to have something bad happen in the future. So, all right, so good deal. So next game, we will have you guys jetting off to Ilar for new adventures. So...
Can I use a Benny for a scene interjection that we have my computer fixed?
That would be. I think that goes beyond the scene interjection. I think someone has to make a skill roll to get that fixed. So
I could make a skill roll real quick.
I think that requires actually some. You're gonna make a skill roll, so I think that's actually some role playing there that needs to be done. So
yeah, we could do that. We could do that later.
Because I think you need to have a confrontation with Spencer and explain why your computer's fucked up.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
That's more interesting.
Also, out of character, to harken back to what you were saying, I am definitely cool with interlude rulings. And during our travel, if you want to do that, I'm all for it.
That's an excellent time. And one of those great times to do that would be like when you guys are like in the mess hall or something and eating, or like if you guys are just bored and playing cards at night or something, or whatever y'all do just to pass the time in the ship and everybody's together. That's just one example of how you could do interludes. But anyways, so I guess we'll leave it here and let's call it a night. So thank you everyone for joining us. So we'll wrap it up here. And we'll be back next week for episode 7. We should be here. I mean, barring anything crazy for the holiday schedules, we should be playing every week for the next 4 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah. But all right. So thank you for joining us, and we'll skedaddle here. So all right. Bye everyone.
Good night.
Bye.